sport of boxing my whole life. I dedicated my whole life to the sport of boxing. And all I ever wanted to do was put my family, my mother, my father.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Off Topic. I'm Supreme Envy, NGASII, no lowercase, no cap in my rap, Lasha himself. And of course, you guys know I'm never alone.
Of course, you've got the conversation connoisseur right here, Gushiri himself in the flesh.
Yes,
it's not
sir.
a rumor.
Alright. As I'm sure you guys have checked out our very first episode, which we just dropped off recently. And today, we'll be delving into Monarchs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the relevance of Monarchs in contemporary society today.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
whether or
saying?
not they should be discontinued or, they should
Are they
continue.
still relevant?
Yeah, they still,
basically? Is it something
exactly.
we should still be having, or is it? Because I just feel like, I know it's time. For me personally, it's time for them to go.
Yeah.
It's time for them to go.
Yeah,
No qualms about it.
This seems to be a little personal. It's hitting a nerve.
Nah, not for real. I mean, if you look at let's just look at the ones closest to home. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at in Southern Africa. You get what I'm saying? I just feel as though it's like slowly but surely. I think as the decades roll on, it's like they lose more and more relevance type of situation, and I just feel like are we reaching a time where there'll be none?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, But I feel like they're gonna hold on for.
Yeah, like I feel like they've had longevity for a while, and it's sort of that thing of their rap is carrying them.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need, but because of the great name that you have built
and also,
for yourself.
Also like the first historic bearers of that kingdom. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Thing is, monarchs kind of are used to encapsulate culture and define culture. You know what I'm saying? Where it started, where it's going, when it's going to end. And
sure.
I think that in our modern era, we've come to realize that it doesn't have to be that way, because you have many ways to define culture. You have many ways to, live out what your culture is like and show people what it's like. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And monarchs are the oldest way to embrace and to let people know that
I just feel like customs feel as though, as you said, customs feel as though they're nothing without their king or their queen,
exactly,
or their kingdom or chiefdom.
Yeah.
And I feel like they hold great, they place great value and great sentiment in those kingdom and chiefdoms, because these are the bearers of our customs. Yeah, I feel like they place great value and great sentiment because they feel like, you know what I'm saying, these monarchs are like the bearers of their customs. Like, without a monarch, we lose our embodiment, our value, our you know what I'm saying?
Our rep.
We basically cease to exist.
Exactly.
If
everything kind of if culture is not birthed by monarchs, I would say that everything that has to do with culture it like revolves around monarchs. So
for sure.
The monarch,
it's definitely the center.
Exactly, it's the center. So your positions in terms of like in the hierarchy of monarchs, they matter because the king is the center, and then how many kids the king has, that matters, and that plays a role in everyone else's lives and the king's subjects and whatnot. And if you don't have that, then people think that order will collapse and then society will go into chaos, right? But basically, I think that with the resources that we have today and the education that we have today, independence is the new thing. It's the way to go.
You know what's interesting?
What
is that? If you look at let's look at the British monarchy, and you look at some of the Commonwealth countries, you know what I'm saying, of which the Queen is still the patron. I think Barbados, Island of Barbados, recently
that's where Rihanna's
from that.
Yeah.
So I think that the crazy part is that most like the Commonwealth countries are democracies now and everything. But my biggest gripe is that a large fortune of taxpayers' money goes to you know what I'm saying, ensuring the maintenance and the well-being of the royal families. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, it takes a fortune for them like to be taken care of, and they ain't doing nothing because, as I'm saying, in some of these Commonwealth countries, across the UK, Canada, you know what I'm saying, there's a self-functioning government, you know, headed up by prime ministers and all these, but they still paying a lot of guap towards maintaining the upkeep of the royal family. And it's like there's some members of that royal family that, you know, like
are contributing nothing to society. Bro, you're
just there by virtue of being King Mang son.
Yeah, and you're like, vibes, dude. I'm just here.
Like, you're just vibing out.
Which I taxpayers' money, and
that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we bring it closer to home, I think that over the last 2 to 3 years, the Zulu kingdom has suffered a lot of turmoil. Obviously with the fall of King Zwelithini and I
actually wanted to get into
the consequential like fallout about who was gonna ascend, the succession and all of that.
About that, let me tell you about that. Let me break it down as to how it happened. Right, so Zwelithini, King Zwelithini, he passed away, and when he passed away, the interim person to take over was supposed to be Queen Dlamini Zulu, right? Who got married to King Zwelithini by virtue of the relationship between King Mswati, the third,
which
that
is the current King of Swaziland.
Yeah, and that queen that King Zwelithini married is his sister.
Yeah.
So I remember
she was the regent, and then
exactly
she just untimely passed as well.
Yeah, like I was about to say, it's like she was about to be appointed as like the interim queen, the regent. She miraculously or mysteriously rather passed away.
Hey, that was very eyebrow raising because I was like,
Yeah, and with the death
that's far from coincidence
of the king, that's not the only thing that was super mysterious. His eldest son passed away from like. Let me tell you this. Queen Dlamini Zulu was not his first wife.
Yeah, we know that.
May have been the most prominent one because she's royalty.
Was the senior one.
Yeah, because she was royalty, but he had an eldest son from the first wife, you know, and he passed away while he was residing in Joburg. He was like around 50 when he passed away. It's recent. He passed away. He apparently was drugged.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So are you saying that the eldest son that you're mentioning passed on after the king had passed on or before?
After. It's after. Because he, apart from the regent being nominated for like interim leadership, she was supposed to announce who was going to succeed
the king.
But
I think that was what she was supposed to do.
That was what she was supposed to do. But
I think that she was sort of place holding the throne for her son. Because why would I hold the throne for another wife's son?
Thing is,
it's like, I'm gonna hold it down for my boy.
But what had happened, the reason she was kind of chosen as like the interim leader was because in the king's will, he had stated that, listen, this is the woman that I want to, you know, to oversee the proceedings.
But thing is,
who's going to succeed.
She wasn't the first wife he married, but she was made senior wife because she's royalty.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
She was like, okay, I think in order.
Yes.
She was the second wife married, but they made her the senior. And I think that was actually the condition. That was actually the condition in which allowed him to marry her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Her family was like, you can only marry her on condition that
the family was like, listen, you paid like 300 cattle, and then
she becomes the senior wife in your house.
Exactly. So she was supposed to oversee that. Yeah. And then she passed away, unfortunately. And people rumor that it definitely had something to do with the first wife. You understand? Like the OG first wife, you know, whom the son was residing in Joburg and was meant to, you know, he was gunning for the throne as well, apparently, because he's the first son of the first wife.
Of course.
So, of course,
so he would feel
logically,
like,
I'm entitled to that position, right?
Yeah.
He apparently was drugged.
After his father's death.
Yes, he was drugged in Joburg where he resides, and he passed away as well. So we don't know what's going on there. And then in regards to the court proceedings, after
it was quite a lengthy court battle.
It was quite a lengthy, because what had happened was the lawyers read the king's will,
the will,
and then things descended into chaos.
Yeah, for sure, because now everybody
trying to get a piece.
Everybody in the family had to clear him now. It was even people were like, you're so far from the throne, but they were tabling their reasons as to why I should get the gig.
Apparently the King Zwelithini's siblings,
yes,
princess and prince,
yes,
I forgot their names, but apparently they were holding secret meetings.
They themselves also wanted it.
They were holding secret meetings, and when they were interviewed by like Bo News 24, they were like, nah, we were not doing anything dodgy. We were just trying to figure out the next steps to, how to secure the monarch, and discussions of what could be good for the monarch, and then we'd like report back to the larger family members of the royalty. But people were like,
yeah,
really?
Right. Yeah, right.
I doubt it,
Y'all cooking
so. And then as well as like the first wife, the mother of the deceased, she apparently was at the forefront of the court proceedings, because she was like, listen, chief, I'm entitled to this guy's estate. The will has been forged. I don't believe in anything that he stated in that will, because I feel like you guys, you rigged the game, basically.
Yeah,
because
the game's
I feel
rigged.
like...
But I feel as though, look,
yeah,
I kind of get the first wife's claims. Because her being the first wife, firstly.
You mean the OG?
Yeah, the first wife.
Okay.
Her being the first wife.
Yeah.
And obviously, she bore the eldest son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
logically,
logically,
yeah,
historically, that's how the ascension and succession works in a monarch. So I feel as though she kind of had, I would say, a valid claim, but also in the same vein, it was well known that who the senior wife was.
Yeah, like it was established.
It was well known who the senior wife was, and that the next king would come from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I only realize now that.
And as siblings, guys.
I don't know. I
don't know who gassed them out. Because they were so far from.
Exactly.
I don't know who gassed them
As I'm saying, everybody was just trying to get a piece.
Yeah.
And everyone has, like, from what I've seen, everyone has solid and valid points as to why they should inherit what they should inherit.
Yeah, I should get it because
my son's the eldest. Yeah, he's up next.
He told me before.
And also, I'm the OG first wife. So Vela, I've been with him from the jump. When now and the other one is like, I'm royalty. So what's up with that? They paid.
Everyone,
you know what I'm saying?
Just going back and forth,
bro. So it's pretty crazy.
It was just a year of absolute turmoil,
dude,
for the Zulu kingdom,
and
I think that. Obviously, now it culminated in the new king being coronated recently.
Exactly.
So I guess we shall have to wait and see how that pans out. But I'm saying that his tenure as the Zulu king was not going to be a smooth one, because there's a lot of people that don't approve.
Exactly.
Within
the Zulu king, there are internal battles. Definitely,
there's a lot of factional battles.
They are ongoing, dude. It's so rough out there. So. See, hence we go back and say,
I think though, the counter argument to what we're saying is because I think that we're sitting here trying to advance that, monarchs are outdated and they're not evolving and adapting to the way times are evolving. But, people may argue in that this is our indigenous way of life.
Yeah.
This is what we know. This is the way our forefathers, this is the way they led their lives.
Of course.
So this is our custom. This is our oldest custom, to serve a king or to serve,
Hence I'm saying.
So and I think that the only way for monarchs to be dissolved is for the people or the subjects of those monarchs. It's not necessarily to rebel, but if they don't want it, that's the only time it's. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like the Swati.
Yeah, but exactly. And they've been rebelling for, you know what I'm saying, for a good amount of time now. It's just that King Mswati's just been very repressive.
He
ain't hearing
He's
any of
not
that.
budging, dude.
He ain't hearing none of that. He's like, nah, damn good man. You know what I'm saying? Basically,
my word goes out here.
He's standing his ground, and it's like there've been multiple protests sparking in Eswatini.
It reached the peak last year.
Yeah, it really reached there. But he's just not budging.
Absolutely
He's just
not,
not budging.
dude.
But I think that the key to Monarchs dissolving, as I'm saying, is the will of the people. You know what I'm saying? And obviously to revert back to the most prominent monarch that there is, the British one, you know, a lot of rumblings in the UK, you know what I'm saying, Scotland, Wales, who obviously want the abolishment of
the monarch.
Of the monarch. And it's very interesting now because it's like everybody, all eyes are on the Queen.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Lizzie baby. yeah.
all eyes are on the Queen, and it's like, and Prince Charles, of course, because it's like, you know, he's also sitting there like,
yeah, like, please, yo, I'm waiting, please.
I'm this close.
I'm
this close to everything I've ever wanted.
You know what I compare that to? You know, like at church when the guest pastor is about to come up, and like the main pastor is about to finish, like, yo, I'm up next. Remember when that guy goes off the podium, it's his chance to shine, and Prince Charles is there like, please finish. Please finish, and Elizabeth is just there like, nah, this is my sermon and I'm going off, bro.
It's interesting because, you know, a lot of political analysts in the UK predict that the monarchy will fall with Queen Elizabeth. I mean, and she's held it since 52.
Thing is, the difference between British monarchs and the ones that we have here in Southern Africa is that the amount of time in between the takeovers, the succession, the amount of time is quite large. You know, we had Victoria, she ruled for a long time, for a really, really long time, and then I think it was Elizabeth the First and the Second after that, both of which in between ruled for a long time.
Yeah.
So, badia whereas with us, you know, it's dude, like our kings don't even reach 100. For example, with the Basotho, Moshoeshoe the First died really quickly, and then Moshoeshoe the Second, he was sent to exile. Litiya came in, he came out, and then when Moshoeshoe the Second was supposed to come in, he died. And then Litiya came in, and then he got replaced as well. You know what I'm saying? So we take over really, really quickly, and we
there's a high turnover.
Exactly, there's a high turnover of kings, and you know, each king or I guess queen in the context of England has different methods of doing things, right? So I think the English have been accustomed to Lizzie, you know.
So my question is to you, right? Since we've established that in countries, right, where they're still governed by a monarch, I mean, these countries are now democracies, and they're self-functioning governments headed up by a ministerial cabinet and prime minister and all those types of things. It's like, okay, if I'm enthroned and coronated as the new king, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, but in that country, there's what am I doing? In terms of
my job.
What's my role? Because, you know, what's my role? Because it's like exactly what functions will I be responsible for?
What tasks do I carry out?
There's a government that functions, you know what I'm saying? So
no, dude, for the longest time,
I think that it's for cultural relevance to say that we have one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
like,
saying?
I mean,
and this is our custom, and our custom is always to have a king.
Yeah, I think to further elaborate on your point,
because look, in the UK, you know what I'm saying, has a parliament. You know what I'm saying, a House of Representatives.
Of course.
Do you get what I'm saying? And the royal family is in no way involved in you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They are nowhere involved. They cozied up at Buckingham doing nothing.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, my city, hypothetically, if and when Queen Elizabeth eventually goes, and let's just say King Charles ascends, and he's now King Charles.
What?
It's just for a title.
Yeah, dude, that's what monarchs have been doing.
It's just for
years.
a title. Because Akondo, they're not actively involved.
Listen, man, it's just
So
about
it's
just about having an anointed lineage. You understand? Like
that's what I'm saying. I think it's just the continuance.
Yeah, of like I said, it encapsulates culture.
Yeah.
And if there are no monarchs, there is no culture. There's more importantly, there's no evidence. You understand?
I think
the erasure.
We're not a people without our
Exactly.
king or without our queen.
Exactly. The erasure of monarchs means what do we refer to when we look back and say
a large part of our lineage and our history is now erased and removed, and it's non-existent.
Yeah, especially because the monarchs the monarchs started ruling in a time where things started being documented. You understand? So it might have been that before the monarchs came into, rule or to take charge, there might have been other systems of governance or other hierarchies, but we don't know because they either got lost in oral somewhere because they weren't written, or there aren't enough people, or the people who were telling these stories are now extinct, or these stories died with them. So it happened that when monarchies were starting to take rule and take charge, that's when books were being written and things were being documented. So that's where history basically starts for us, for any other culture, especially in Africa. With the English and any other European culture, you could go beyond. You can go beyond monarchs and dig whether things are relevant or whether we need relevance of monarchs and things like that, or where monarchs originate. But with us, it's where our history starts, because that's how that's where the documentation of our history started. You know what I'm saying? Anything before that, we don't really know. So erasure of that is erasure of culture. Maybe.
Yeah. So I think to substantiate on your point is that I feel as though people are very reluctant to have parts of their culture erased in that sense. So it's like, if we do away of something that's been our way of living for centuries, we lose semblance of cultural identity.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Of course.
Now, I want to put this question to you, right? Particularly in terms of the present monarchs that we still have in South Africa. You get what I'm saying? A large part of provincial budgets. You get what I'm saying? A large chunk of taxpayers' money, obviously, goes to these kingdoms.
Yeah.
Right?
Example: 71 rand is allocated to the Zulu nation.
71 rand of what?
71 million rand.
Oh, I was like,
to the Zulu.
I thought you were saying 71 rand of every purchase of something.
No, 71 million.
Because you said 71 rand.
Oh, really? Sorry, 71 million rand.
I mean, yes, 71 rand a year is a lot per financial year, right?
Yeah.
See that's a lot of money, and it's like the way I see it, right, is that these kingdoms, right, are supposed to be better in their people's lives. They're supposed to be, responsible for ushering in impucuko and development, and
of course,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, like these royal families are just living lavish.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my days, they're just living lavish, and it's like you try to like kind of shed light on this type of situation. It's like, not my king. He's my king. He deserves everything.
I think that stems.
My king deserves everything.
Exactly.
My king got a Bentley. So what if she has to
So
pay?
what?
So what? He's my king. These guys be like having these lives of like major opulence, and you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's at the expense of the subjects. You kill me. And but like, which is for me the strange part about we already discovered as to the reasons why people want to uphold these customs. You know what I'm saying? Because we're saying it's directly linked to their lineage, their origin, and their history. But it's like, you know, the very people that are there to safeguard the lineage. You know what I'm saying? They're living in opulence, and
of course,
you're down bad.
I think that monarchs are no different from politicians. You know, they make promises.
But I feel like, yeah.
Obviously,
Continue.
the beginning. I don't think there was the only difference between politics and monarchs is that there was no democratic election. You know, they were chosen. I don't know how, but I feel like maybe some guy was like, okay, I'm royal. And then someone took their word for it, like, bet, he's cool.
But thing is, I feel like most monarchs were derived from the fact that most kingdoms, right, believed that they were ordained by God.
Yes.
To rule. And they had a divine right. And it was that type of situation, but it's like,
yeah.
Because like, well,
no,
he said he's ordained by God to do it.
Actually, I do know.
There's nothing I can say.
Ordained by the ancestors, like healers would come out, or people who are able to speak with the ancestor would come out and be like, "This is the chosen one."
Yeah.
And so, who am I to say no?
Yeah. And that's somebody who's able to communicate.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, Gushiri is the chosen one.
So
and
I guess
I'm just there like, says who? And then, but thing is, what if I get like my healer and like then our healers go head to head?
Counter argument, like,
yeah, and then because I can easily say mine said it's my jig, it's my turn.
So what do you have to say about that, Chief?
Yeah, and then you bring yours, I bring mine, and then they square off. And then I guess I guess it's like the most powerful one means the one who has the more powerful healers is the one who's gonna ascend to the throne. But I just feel like bro, like how are they just taking people's words for face value?
You know, but
there was something. I reckon there was something else that substantiated your claim to be a ruler. It wasn't a thing of, it can't have just been guys have been ordained by God. Okay, because I feel like then, you know, in that regard, anybody could do it.
I think maybe.
I mean, like maybe the peasant boy could also be
exactly like well, even me too.
Well, I had a dream.
I think that
and
maybe
I was also ordained by God. Yeah. So
I think maybe it could be that thing of I'm ordained by God. Okay, so then prove it. So you have to go through a series of events to prove it. Maybe I don't know. Like maybe fight. You know, prove that like you are worthy of being king.
If I lose the fight, that doesn't exactly disprove that I was ordained by God either.
Kind of like how Shaka was a warrior, and you know.
Yeah, but I'm saying trying to prove something as linear as they were like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The powers vested in you, so to speak. It's like even if we duel for it and I lose the duel, that doesn't exactly disprove that I was ordained.
Yeah. I might be weak, but I'm ordained.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, I can't fight, but
it doesn't mean
I don't have these powers vested in me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But back to like the matter that we had deviated from, it's that like, man, the relevance of it with our kings exploiting their subjects and
our kings.
Okay, not our kings.
King. Oh yeah, you do.
We do have I do.
You
okay,
do.
But I speak when I speak for the Basotho, he does not, because our monarch is not in any way involved with politics. You understand?
So is most other monarchs, as we established.
Yeah,
earlier.
But thing is, the government of the Zulu monarch or the Swati monarch gives them this budget, and then we've seen...
No. The Zulu Kingdom's budget, right?
Is allocated by the KZN government.
The provincial government.
Yeah.
That's where they get it from.
Exactly. And
so it's in the yearly financial plans. But this year, how much are we giving them?
Exactly. But hence I'm saying that the difference between the Basotho monarchy and the other South African monarchs is that the Zulu and Swati, okay, just Zulu, it's restricted to there's KZN, which is a province, and us.
The key difference, right?
Yeah.
Since you're comparing
Yeah.
the Basotho Kingdom and the Zulu Kingdom, is that the Basotho Kingdom governs an entire country.
Exactly.
The Zulu Kingdom is for a people or a tribe.
Yes.
So there's a difference.
There is a difference. That's what I'm saying. I was getting there. I was like, the monarch is integrated with a democratic government. We have a prime minister. So he has executive authority, right? And the king is just there.
But we've established that that's how all of them are, though.
Yes, but I feel like the difference is that the kings in Swaziland and in KZN have a say of how to rule their subjects. You understand what I'm saying?
They do, but I think that there may be a bit of bias in that.
How so? Because I'm Sotho.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. I need to
You're being biased because we already established, and we alluded to it earlier on that these monarchs, their sphere of influence is waning. Do you get what I'm saying? And that the countries in which they existed, right?
Yes.
Have since now ventured into democracy where they have self-sufficient governments with ministerial cabinets and a House of Representative or a parliament, so to speak. Same in Lesotho, right? You get what I'm saying? But as we've established, so all of these monarchs have very little sphere of influence. They don't influence the day-to-day happenings in their countries. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They all do that. It's not just the Basotho.
I understand.
That do that.
But
no, there's no but.
No. You're not hearing me. I feel like you're not hearing me. I'm saying that, as proven in the KZN monarch, is that the KZN government, provincial government, allocates money to that monarch. In Lesotho, the prime minister allocates money to all of the states. Or the
but
factions.
It's apples and oranges because the Zulu Kingdom isn't a whole country.
That's what I'm saying. That's the difference.
But you can't compare them.
Why not? If there's a difference, you can compare them.
No, I'm saying you can't compare them, right?
Why not?
Because it's not the same thing. Mamela.
Okay.
Right. We've established.
Okay.
Monarchs, right, are living off the back of taxpayers.
Right.
That's something
we've established.
We've established that's undisputable. Right. Now the difference is that the Basotho monarch, right, has kingship in Lesotho, which is a sovereign country.
True.
Right. The Zulu Kingdom, right, is a tribe. It's a people.
True.
It's not a country. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I feel like there's a difference because there is no prime minister in the Zulu. Well, unofficially there is, and it's Mangosuthu Teles. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't cut them the check.
True.
They get the check from provincial government.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you pointed out that the monarch in Lesotho has no influence.
True.
You know what I'm saying? On the country's government. But we also said the same about the British monarch.
Yes.
So what the thing is, you like, I feel like you're trying to
I'm being biased.
You're being biased. Okay. Because you're putting the Basotho Kingdom on a pedestal saying they don't influence, but so do other monarchs. And that's kind of the role of monarchs these days, to be a figurehead.
True.
That's the role. They're not supposed to
influence.
So you're praising them. You're praising a fish for swimming.
For swimming.
Yeah,
but
they're not supposed to influence.
Right. With that being said, I feel like this is where the difference comes in. Like you get what I'm saying? With the Swati Kingdom and the Zulu Kingdom, they do have some sort of influence, as we've seen. Right?
Comparing wait. Comparing the Swati Kingdom to the Basotho Kingdom is a more valid comparison. My problem was
countries.
My problem was you using the Zulu Kingdom as a comparison. It wasn't a viable comparison.
Let me compare the Swati and the Sotho.
Yes, King Swati has overreaching influence. Yes.
That's the point I was trying to make. It's just that the difference is that I was comparing a place that isn't a country to one that is.
Yeah.
But now that I'm comparing two countries, do you get my point?
I get your point.
Yes.
I get your point in that one, King Swati has overbearing influence.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And king.
All I'm saying,
King, yes. He's not influenced.
Yes.
He's not, you know what I'm saying?
He. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I still feel like monarchies are irrelevant. But
sure.
I was just highlighting the differences. You understand now?
No, for sure.
So, with that being said, I feel like what we were really focusing on was how these monarchs, well, most of them, kind of exploit their subjects and whatnot.
I think that the crux of our discussion today was to just try to unpack whether or not, and as we alluded to earlier, whether or not in contemporary society right now, if monarchs are still relevant. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously that is an umbrella for many other factors, which we discussed. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's what we were trying to get to the crux of, as to what are the you know what I'm saying? What are the systems keeping them in place? You know what I'm saying? And will they ever be dislodged or dissolved? You know what I'm saying? And I think that we concluded by that will only occur once the people of that tribe or kingdom don't want it for themselves.
Yeah.
Because we can sit here and say, no, those
we can
folks
highlight
should
the pros and cons.
We can shed a light and say they should overthrow
Yeah.
their king or whatever and abolish it. But they can be like, who told you we want to?
Yeah, thing is, from the
And
outside,
Kenyani.
we can feel like, yo, these people deserve better, or something can be done.
But
like,
if they don't want it for themselves, then who are we? You get what I'm saying? Well, that's all we have time for on today's episode of Off Topic. Catch us next time. I'm Supreme Envy.
Gugushi's Law, you can find me on Twitter, otherwise known as Gushiri, Conversation Connoisseur.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
As long as you breathe, we gon' be alright.